Hey everyone, today I'll be doing a scene tour of my recent robot render. Before we start, I'd like to mention a few things. First off, this robot concept wasn't mine. I used this painting by the artist Istio, who makes a lot of awesome concept art. Honestly, they have some of the best I've ever seen. I have linked their art station in the description, and sorry if I butchered your name. Next, I want to talk about the reason I started making robots again. The artist BBN19 has recently been putting out some amazing robot renders that inspired me to do some of my own. I also want to say that a few of the material groups were modified materials that I got from them. Make sure to follow their Twitter, linked in the description. They have some really cool renders, and a lot of things I'm about to show you I learned from them. And sorry that I didn't record a time-lapse, it just makes me feel uncomfortable while working. Like the eyes of the viewers judging me as I attempt to add a cube. And this isn't a step-by-step tutorial, otherwise we'd be here for the rest of our lives. Anyways, without any more talking, let's get into the video. So first thing you may notice when you open the file, the robot terminates at the neck. It's important to know your camera angle so you can build your scene around it. Unless you're going to have multiple renders from different angles, figure out your camera angle early so you can do the least amount of work needed. I needed a filler shape to act as a solid center for the robot head, so after I had modeled the major shapes, I added a cube and gave it a multi-res modifier. This is like a subsurf modifier, except it supports sculpting. I used the grab brush to pull the mesh into place and line it up with the rest of the head, doing my best to follow the concept art. The rest of the details were just simple modeling, although taking a while due to the number of them. The neck was hard because the lighting I used revealed the missing details in the neck, so I added wires there and in a few other places as well. For some of the decals on the coat and the robot, I used shrink-wrapped meshes. I didn't feel like using textures for this project, and it ended up looking good in the end. After the basic model was finished, I wanted to start getting an idea of how the materials would look. I used the materials from BBN19's shader pack for the metal and cloth of the backpack. I also made my own shader for the coat. Most of these were simple materials, but I want to show you a really cool trick I learned. I wanted to get these creases and lines cut into the robot, but I didn't want to use booleans. BBN19 showed me that if you shrink wrap a plane and shape it onto the rest of the robot mesh, then give it a material with an inverted normal map, the fake bump makes it look like it's pushed inwards. I used the technique heavily throughout the piece. I also did end up using booleans for the things like the shoulder pad and bolt holes. I also used it for this hole on the pointy front piece. When I first put it in, everyone said it looked like a nostril, so I almost gave up on that aspect of the render. The lighting was pretty straightforward. I used a snowy HDRI set to a low value and some area lamps. I had one large one to generally light up the robot, then 3 more. 1 light coming from the back and 2 for the rim light. After that, I added some smoke from me and Hubert's free smoke pack and imported it on a plan. I duplicated it a bit and added some snow as well. The background was actually taken from the painting by importing it on a plane and scaling the UVs down. I used some nodes to blur it so you can't see the pixels. After playing around with some compositing, adding things like glow and a few other things I don't feel like explaining, it was done. The render time came in at around 40 seconds in Eevee. That's the robot. I hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, you can find this file for free on my Gumroad, although if you're feeling nice, you can leave a tip. If you want, you can even take apart the file and salvage any useful pieces for a Kipash library. I will have to leave out the HDRI and possibly some other textures because Gumroad has a file size for free products. Anyways, that's all for this video. See you later. Bye! And here's Cyrt, the toad doing toad things.